Shan Dan Horan, president of Artery Recordings, and you're listening to Honest Brutality.
Created by the people, created for the people. No holds barred, no punches pulled, just honest brutality. I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking, but you don't ever talk about my band again. What's this honest brutality shit anyway?
Honest Brutality.
Honest Brutality, this is Evil, and I am joined by my co-host, Camera Rebel.
Hello.
And Big Sloppy.
Hey, everybody.
And we have a very special guest on the phone.
Yes, we do.
This is in our attempt to pull back the curtain a little bit and give the listening audience something other than the normal day-to-day conversations, interviews that they hear with artists. Mm-hmm. Today we have Shan Dan Horan, president of Artery Records. Are you there?
Yep, here. Nice to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm actually surprised you got my name right. A lot of people, they look at that and they're just like, what? Shan Dan Horan? Does it rhyme? Are they serious?
We
okay,
love it.
so real quick, let's just go ahead and start it this way. I gotta tell you a story about that. You and Camera Rebel had some correspondence via email prior to our meeting at Aftershock Festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was funny because when we met, when you said your name, that's when the light bulb went off. She goes, "Oh, that's the guy."
Right.
And the face with the name thing, which was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But what's really funny is ever since then, every time we start talking about Artery, we start talking about the artists, she has to say your full name.
Shan Dan Horan. I love it.
Oh my gosh. You wouldn't be the first person to do that. I'm just like, oh man, first, middle, and last. Am I in trouble?
That is so funny. No, I just love the way it flows off the tongue, you know? It just flows.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
You know, it's so funny. A lot of people, you know, I correspond with through the record label, you know, via email. You know, if I haven't met them in person, when they, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm Shan Dan, they get blown away because they're like, oh, I thought you were like Middle Eastern or like something like very different because, you know, Shan Dan sounds like a weird name, you know?
I'm not going to lie. I was looking for you on Skype and I typed in Shan Dan. Dude, you're everywhere in Tijuana, everywhere but the United States. So that's a unique thing.
It's so funny.
Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah, there's actually there's a province in China called Shan Dan province, so I get added by a bunch of Chinese guys often. It's, you know, not a problem.
That is so
it's just interesting.
Yeah, you know what? It was actually a really shocker. Aftershock was a shocker. Meeting you there, that was just like one of those things where it was like, holy cow. I mean, like I would have never thought in a million years, you know, just because I wasn't putting you in that area, you know what I mean, in my mind. And so it was just so cool to meet you there. What was your take on Aftershock? I mean, like, what do you think about the whole festival and everything from your perspective?
Well, I love Aftershock. You know, I've worked with, you know, Clay Bush and Danny Wimmer, you know, those guys quite often, in the past. And, you know, every year they definitely don't disappoint with cool lineups and, you know, interesting bands. But yeah, this year was great. I mean, I didn't get to stay as long as I wanted to. You know, I have to often work, you know, at fun functions, you know, so
we know the feeling.
I can only get out. Oh yeah, absolutely. You guys definitely feel me on that. But, yeah, no, all in all, I thought it was a great year for Aftershock. They sold out as well. I'm pretty positive.
Yeah, they did. It was amazing.
They did a great job this year overall with the layout, with everything. It was much better this year. I think it was their best year yet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Last year was a little rough just because of the logistics, you know, the location.
Yeah, the change.
It was at I can't remember what the place is called, but it was like only you know, a couple lanes in and out, and it took a good 2 or 3 hours to get in. But you know, this year's back to good old fashioned Aftershock. It was easy to get in, easy to get out. You know.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, the really cool part about running into you was when we did, I didn't really know who you were up front, and we met and started talking, and I was like, well, the light bulb came on for me.
Yeah.
And we have developed a really good relationship with your label. We love the acts you're bringing, and exposing them. And you guys have great taste in who you're signing up for obvious reasons. You're doing well.
Yeah. We've definitely been picking up a lot of internationals more. That's not something as many U.S. labels do, which is interesting because, when you sign an international artist, it's a lot harder to break than a U.S. band that you can just be like, oh, you're in California, just hit the road today, or here's opportunities, but to pitch European artists, it's pretty hard, but I kind of felt like as long as we sign good talent, regardless of what country they're from, it would, shine through and we'd be able to give fans what they wanted, and you guys got to talk to Fella. That was a pretty interesting conversation.
They were amazing.
Here's a thing that I've noticed, and maybe this is just me. No slight on our own turf. Don't get me wrong when I say this. But it seems as though the music that's coming out of the UK, Australia, the Eastern Bloc, it seems to me like there's a ton of passion and ingenuity, more so than what I'm seeing on our own front. What do you think?
Well, here's the problem I've found. Like, there's definitely, tons of really talented, great U.S. artists.
Right.
And I'm not dogging on U.S.
No, neither
musicians.
are we. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But with internationals, like it seems to be lately that if you're in a U.S. band, you have some sort of something, and sound decent, you get scooped up real fast. It's very competitive where you have tiny labels that are like, oh, sign this 5-album contract, and they get scooped up here and there. And a lot of these fresh bands don't know the logistics of what a good contract is, what's bad. They just get starstruck because, they see a label. So what I found is like the majority of U.S. bands, when you find something talented, it's almost automatically scooped up already, So, these bands, aren't necessarily touring even, like they're just getting signed before they hit the road or play shows. Because people are desperate to find that U.S. band. So the approach I took was like, hey, let's just take a seat, back seat, find stuff that's really good, bands that play shows that are, energetic, have longevity, have been around for like 5 years, and let's find those. But they just so happen to be, not in the U.S., which is what normally would scare a record label away. So I kind of feel like that's the situation. It's really hard for me to find a U.S. band that has the perfect package that hasn't already been offered a couple of record deals already.
So how do you start the touring process with the guys across the pond? We talked to a lot of them, and one of the biggest issues are their visas.
Yeah.
Are you bringing any of your bands over here? Like, how are you working that out?
Yeah. So the first band I have coming over here is a band called She Must Burn. It's a, melodic, it's basically like Motionless in White with a girl, keyboardist in it. Very, very aggressive stuff though. But I'm bringing them over next year. I can't announce the tour, but it's going to be a good one. You're going to freak when you guys hear about it.
Right on.
But yeah, the majority of the bands too, it comes out to this weird situation where it's like, it's all about leverage, in the music industry. So what I have to barter with is, for instance, Crystal Lake, who's, one of our artists from Japan.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're so good.
Yeah.
So I have this Japanese band. They're killing it. They're playing in front of like 15,000, 20,000 people in Japan. And the situation is every U.S. band wants to tour with them in Japan. What I'm saying? So they don't want to bring them to the U.S. because all U.S. bands are like, hey, we need to put, people in these venues.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is a band's tour history? Like, how many U.S. tours have they done? How many people they draw in the U.S., but if you're an international band that's never been to the U.S., nobody's going to throw you on tour because you're not worth anything feasible yet. It's a risk. So the way I tend to bring U.S. band or your international bands to the U.S. is I tend to try to leverage, bringing a U.S. band to their turf. So a U.S. band that hasn't toured Japan that wants to hit sold out, shows every night is going to have to reciprocate and put, let's say Crystal Lake on at a decent U.S. tour. So that's kind of how I do it.
Right. Wow. I like that. I like that a lot.
Maybe you can speak to something for me. We've had this come up in the past, talking to bands that want to come to the U.S. and tour. Apparently, to get a working visa, they're talking $7,500 to be able to come over here just to get a working visa to come out and play. Is that sound about right to you?
Well, there's a few different types of visas. What I would do if I was an international band, or what I'd suggest to your international bands that listen, would be to actually hire, one of those visa firms. Essentially what they would do is they shop visas for you. So they have the logistics of how to get, the cheaper visas, which one means what. And there's actually a few different visas you can get. And one of those allows you to bring up to I think it's 5 or 6 members in for one price. And I think that's about $5,000.
Oh,
It's
that sounds way more
I usually pay. Yeah, so I mean, you can definitely get screwed over when it comes to visas, because if you try to do it yourself or go to some for-profit company, they're gonna try to upsell you on $5,000 per person, all sorts of stuff. But as it is, the last visa application that came across my desk was $5,000 for about 6 members total. So all inclusive.
You know what? Thank you so much for sharing that information. Like we said, we have a lot of bands over there that are just, it's their dream to come over here, and they're just like, what do we do? How do we do it? And that's some really good information to pass along to them. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
I was told going the other way though, from the U.S. to Europe, is way less expensive.
Yeah.
It was odd.
It's definitely way cheaper. And the weird thing is, any of my bands that get offers European in Europe or Japan or whatever tours they get, most of the agents putting on these tours will actually pay for everything. Oh. Which is bizarre. It's just like this. It's a different world. People come out, to when I was in London or when I was in Tokyo, I go to shows and it's like a different atmosphere compared to the U.S. where there's not as many shows going on all the time. The U.S., there's a show every day. There's hundreds of bands in every city. So it's just harder to get somebody to pay a decent price for artists in the U.S. as compared to, Japan and Europe. And a lot of those bands, so a lot of our bands that get offers, the visas and all types of stuff's covered. So that's pretty wild as well.
You just recently went over to Japan, is that correct?
Yeah. I flew to Tokyo. I think it was a good 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, it was that long ago. I was stalking your Facebook.
Oh, creepy, man.
No, I saw.
Creeper.
I saw your video, and it looked like a really super cool trip.
Oh yeah. No, Tokyo is amazing. I definitely would live there if I had an opportunity.
Really?
Yeah, wow.
But it did kind of suck in the terms of me being a vegetarian,
Yeah, I can see that.
I got a little sick of white rice after a while.
Right?
That's all you can eat.
There's seaweed.
They're just so amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Seaweed salads and rice.
Yuck.
I got to tell you a story about a Tokyo food item though, for sure.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I was out there with my counterpart, one of the heads of one of our departments, and he loves sushi. He loves eating, meat and stuff like that. His name's Chris. I don't think you guys met him, but what happened was we would go and I'd have to be like, I can't eat here. There's nothing for vegetarian, So we keep going. We find a spot and it says tofu. So I'm like, oh shit, I can eat here. It's got tofu. You can't go wrong with that. So they bring me out this they bring him tons of sushi stuff and they bring me out this tofu dish and it's moving, right?
What?
Like this thing. Yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm like, what the hell? It's got these things flapping on it. Like they're moving. And it looks like butterfly wings, right? And I'm just like, what the hell is this, man? Right. And, Chris is telling me, it's a breeze. There's a breeze coming through. It's making it look like it's moving. And I'm looking and there's literally no windows, no doors, nothing's open. And I'm looking, and it's flapping in opposite direction. So I filmed it. It's somewhere on my Facebook, but I couldn't eat it. So
what? So did you figure out what the heck it was that was flapping?
Yeah, I think it was like freshly scaled fish, like the nerve endings or something were still moving. I don't really know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did find a Taco Bell though. Yeah, in Tokyo, a Taco Bell, and I'm eating there, and there's this Japanese girl. You could tell she's never had a taco before, so she's like funneling the contents into her mouth like it's a slide, with a shell. And I was just like, oh my God.
Funny.
That is hilarious. How did you keep from cracking up?
You probably did.
Oh, I couldn't help it. I had to hide in the corner and just giggle like a weirdo.
That's amazing.
Hey, how many bands you guys have on your label right now?
I mean, including alumni, I'd probably say 35.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty deep.
Yeah, that's a good number.
Just for the listening audience and for the sake of prosperity, because as far as I can tell, you don't have a whole lot of this exposure, and I think you deserve it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Let's talk a little bit about who Shan Dan is and where you come from.
Okay.
So you have a marketing background. That's what you started with, right?
Yeah. So I went to college for marketing, got a master's degree in that. Ended up interning in Chicago, and I got into the corporate world, where I was working for like big marketing companies that were doing I worked with Barack Obama on his campaign, not the presidential campaign, but before that, I worked on these like all the corporate ads and marketing for like McDonald's and Kellogg's, and just to be honest, it was really boring.
Yeah.
Stuff. It was monotonous.
Well, and I just have to interject. We have a vegetarian working on a McDonald's
I know.
campaign.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Thankfully, they didn't pay me in hamburgers. You know?
Right. That would have totally sucked.
But no, I was doing that for a while, and I just kind of got really bored. In that kind of world, the MO is don't rock the boat. It's about being very timid, not being completely creative. It's about offending the least amount of people ever and doing the same formula that you've done for 30 years,
Right.
So
yeah.
it's just very monotonous, and, most of my ideas got shot down pretty quick because they were a little too drastic. And we were doing this ad, how they say, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
That's their thing. We had to do it in 150 languages, I believe it was.
Oh my God.
And 52 in, I was just like, oh my God, I don't think I can, I don't think this is what I want to do. So I got back in the music industry and I worked at a ton of labels since then.
Hold on one sec. Let me stop you right there real quick.
Okay.
You said you got back into the music industry.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So back in the day, I've always played in bands. That's been kind of my passion. I've played in a bunch of metal groups, and I played in the pop group.
What did you play?
I play everything: drums, guitar, bass, some vocals.
So here's a guy with a master's degree.
Yeah.
That has played every instrument in metal groups. I'm just trying to make sure I've got this right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you went and worked for these major campaign agencies, marketing agencies, and you went. I don't want to cut you off totally. I'm just trying to make sure I got this right. So you're a pretty accomplished guy.
Yeah.
So you went back to the music scene.
Absolutely. I was doing good. I mean, if I would have stayed in the corporate marketing world, I'm sure I would be, a lot more wealthy than I would in the music industry, obviously.
Yeah.
But at least I don't have nightmares about I'm loving it in 150 languages.
Well, you got some pretty expensive tattoos. Don't you try and lie to me.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I do. I'm covered in tattoos.
I love it.
It's funny because if someone saw you, they would not think marketing guy.
Oh no, not at all.
And I don't mean that in a negative way.
I tend to get a lot of people tend to kind of downplay. They judge a book by the cover very, very often.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Absolutely.
they look at me and they're like, that dude will never get a job. And it's like, oh, little do you know, I'm president of a record label and have all this stuff that I've done. But I don't know. It's just, I just couldn't do that corporate stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe I subconsciously got a bunch of tattoos so I wouldn't end up back there. I don't know.
There you go. Did you have all your tattoos when you were working there?
No. I had it all. It was all coverable. So I didn't get throat or hands or knuckles back then.
When you were a musician, was there anything that we might know of or might hear of or that's out there floating around?
Yeah, but I don't want to tell you because it's really embarrassing stuff. So I just won't.
We dug it up, and yes, you were the fifth member of NSYNC. So,
oh my God,
you've been outed.
Damn it! I knew this would come out sometime. Oh man!
I'll tell
Blackmail.
you what. You could tell us off the record later, and then we'll just blackmail you for it.
Yeah, right.
No big deal.
Okay.
No big deal.
That sounds good to me.
Oh, okay, so
sounds like a fair trade.
So when you got back into the music industry, though, you didn't just start out with Artery. You've been doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So I got back into the music industry, and I was playing in bands. I was actually working for some venues and recording studios. Because on top of a master's, I also went to the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Science. So that's like where you learn how to engineer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was playing in bands. I was touring a bunch, doing that kind of stuff, and I ended up being better at the business side, of everything than and that's what a lot of label people or agents or managers tend to say. They say, "Oh, I was always better at the business side of it than playing." So that's just how I ended up in this role, and it kind of echoes between a lot of my counterparts and people I work with. But yeah, so I started working for a handful of different labels. I worked for Century Media for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Based out of LA, and you guys know them for In This Moment, In Flames,
Right.
Yeah.
stuff like that. I freelanced as well, and have worked for everything from Republic, Capitol, Hollywood Records, what else? Nuclear Blast. We do stuff with them. And then, anyways, after working at Century for a while, I took a job at Artery, moved to Sacramento, and ended up, president somehow after a few years. So.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah,
It was
it's
weird.
amazing.
It was a hell of an election campaign.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
You guys are doing some great things over there. I jumped on the other day and was just kind of blowing up your Facebook Live thing you were doing with unsigned acts that you do at the end of every month. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, the AR Fridays, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I shouted you guys out on that. I don't know.
Yeah,
you
no,
did. Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that is so awesome. We'll definitely be watching that every, the last Friday of every month?
Yeah. So it's the last Friday every month. I kind of had this idea. I had a band approach me. They said, we sent our demo in to the official form. Nobody ever listens to us.
Right.
These things just go in the trash. Like it's something that's resonated between a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
that sentiment is very real. So what I wanted to do was, a live feed where you could submit live on air, no preference or
Right.
special treatment, kind of first come, first go, just click it at a certain time. And it started blowing up. And, we have literally tens of thousands of viewers. I think the last one had 23,000 viewers and thousands of comments.
Damn.
Yeah, we've done it a while. It's a great idea. I see a lot of other labels stealing it now.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was great. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I
Yeah.
think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The bands tend to as well.
Approximately how many submissions a month do you guys receive? Bands trying to get their stuff in front of you, do you think?
Every month, probably, I want to say between 2,000 to 5,000 submissions.
I would believe that.
Wow.
Easily believe
Wow.
that. Virtually impossible to hear every one of them, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So what is the process in calling through all of them?
Well, when I'm looking for new artists, I'll start going through the list. There's a lot of factors I have to play into, and not to sound arrogant, but 99% of the submissions are just not label material. And, the reason being would be, they've never played a show before,
Right.
Or the recordings are just not good, or they're just a total different genre. Like, why would you submit, a country artist to a metal label?
Right.
Like, there's just tons of factors that people don't think of.
Yeah, it was a blanket submission for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, I've had a ton of submissions too, where people find my email address out and they send me this copy paste thing, and they forgot to update the last label they sent it to. So it's like, hey, Fearless Records, we really want to sign you, and
Oh my gosh.
And you're out.
Yep.
yeah, I think I wrote back before. I'm like, oh hey, I think this isn't Fearless Records. I think you got the wrong email. And they're like, no, you guys too.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I've done it on the press requests on accident. Because when you go to a festival, when you go to a festival,
Yeah.
you have X amount of time to submit to tons and tons and tons of PR people for your press requests.
Oh, for sure.
So I've actually I was changing the names of the bands in there as I was going through, but it was the same basic, boilerplate request. And yeah, I got caught with my pants down on one too.
Oh man, it happens.
Yeah.
It's that oh shit moment. Like,
Yeah, it's all right. Tool's overrated anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
shut up.
Tool, is that a band?
I love it. Check this out, man. I want to take just a second, and this is something I want to do for our listening audience, because a lot of them are artists.
Yep.
I want to get your take. I want you to tell them what it takes, if they're serious, what it takes to get recognized by a label, to get signed by a label, and what that means in today's world.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I get this question a lot, and there's a lot of factors that go into it. The first and foremost thing that bands have to realize is that it's not about music anymore. It's about business, so instead of looking at their band like, hey, this is a hobby, they have to look at it as a business where they start budgeting. Every person has, a job to do. They constantly kind of try to create new products or merch and stuff like that. And once I see a band that's functioning like an actual business as opposed to some dude jamming out, at a local venue and that's it, that's when you tend to get more, attention. But the big factors to me, anytime I look for a band, they have to be, they have to have a long lifespan. So they have to have been around for a few years. You see many bands that come along and they've been together for like less than a year and they break up and change their name, and that band breaks up and changes their name, so if they have a history of being solid, that's good. If they have tour history and it shows that they're actually trying to get out there and, spread their music around outside of just, hey, we're on Facebook, check us out here, because that shows that they're actually hard workers as opposed to just doing the lazy approach. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with promoting on Facebook, but if that's your sole means of trying to get people to check out your music, that's not good.
Right.
That factor. There's also, is the music good? Is the image good? And by image, I just mean, is what they're putting out quality, or is it like they took, a small, like 1992 camera and shot some joke video and put it out as an official music video and it got like 1,000 plays. Like that doesn't look good,
Right.
But, if you have that trifecta where you tour, you have great products, you've got great music, the image and branding's there, and you guys are all hard workers and can get out on the road, that's usually a recipe for success. But in the end, like, there's no formula to create a band, and I hear a lot of bands that they get bummed out because they say, oh, it's our manager's fault or it's the label's fault. But in the end, like, you just can't tell what fans are going to like,
Right.
So
right.
Regardless if you have all the great things and your band is like doing everything right, if you don't have it, whatever it is, and people aren't resonating, there's really nothing you can do,
right.
Even on a label.
So that would be the number one thing, is to find out what, like, the litmus test of, do you have that following, right? I mean, is that the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it also comes out to just, buzz or hype. Like if a band comes out of nowhere and they have something that people are like, oh man, I love it, I need more of this. Mm-hmm. Those tend to just blow up overnight and end up getting signed, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying overnight, but it's a very accelerated approach if they have that it factor. Yeah. I mean, look at like 21 Pilots. They've been around for a little while, but they blew up. Yeah. And nobody really knows what it was. A 2-piece band. Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it was a strange thing. And quite honestly, just between, me and everybody that's listening to this, I don't get it. But that's me. It's not my bag. Right. It's just not what I dig. But I get. They have something that people it resonates for sure.
Factor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just got to start doing that. You'll see labels try to kind of create stuff that's successful. So they'll see like, 21 Pilots, let's find 2 dudes and make them do like pop music.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Maybe I should do that. No.
There it is.
Maybe
you found it.
I guess I just really want to help. We really want to help these bands that we run across, some bands that we feel like they really have that it factor, and they really, and it's sort of, I don't want to use the word depressing, but sometimes it's a little bit depressing to talk to some of these guys because they really work so goddamn hard and they're so passionate and they're out there just doing it on their own. For instance, our friends Black and Hale, their music's great. They're working hard and they're in a black hole over there. Yeah. There's no one to help them.
Yeah.
And what do? They rent a van and drive X amount of hundreds of miles to get out and play.
Yeah.
And so guys like that, we're all about supporting them.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those bands that are out there just hammering it out and just not giving up. They have this dream and whatever, and they're out. They're getting after it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love bands that you just described. I mean, those guys are in it to win it. They get out there. It's like, for instance, like As I Lay Dying, that's a perfect example. Those guys got an old van, hit the road, ended up just playing a bunch. Parkway Drive, you can watch their documentary where they're sleeping in empty ships, and like roadsides. They're just trying to be successful and putting in the work, and eventually they get there. So I definitely appreciate that. Yeah.
Who else do you have in your stall that's got something new coming out here real soon that you want to push a little bit?
Well, we got a bunch of stuff planned for 2017. We've got a new Capture the Crown album. That's pretty anticipated. People are stoked on that. It's definitely aggressive, but it also has a bit more mainstream stuff. It kind of reminds me of that Bring Me the Horizon approach, where they just refine their music to that point of being like super mature and just
they're almost a bit artsy for the genre.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they definitely took a turn from Bring Me the Horizon took a turn from being a breakdown metalcore band to this like powerhouse that you see on like now 93 or whatever number they're on at this point.
Right.
Which I feel like, if you're in a band, that's what you do. You just want to be done now, eventually, right? That's the definition of success.
Well, you would know being in sync like you were. You would have been there enough times.
I know. That's the day I made it. It's actually funny. One of the guys from One Direction has his last name's Horan as well, and I get tons of shit for that.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
But new Capture the Crown, got a new Slaves album, which is Johnny Craig's group.
Right.
It's coming out. It's coming together. It's being engineered right now. That's really good stuff. Got a couple bands I can't talk about because we haven't announced them yet.
What? Well, what better place?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, one. Sloppy.
Yeah, they're pretty fresh. I got to get some stuff set before I announce anything.
Well, I can't wait to hear.
Well, I'll tell you first.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
I like your
Appreciate
attitude.
that, man.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah, wasn't it Slaves that did? Didn't they do the cover of Sweater Weather?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it.
Pop Goes Punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Punk Goes Punk.
Yeah.
One of those.
Those little collaboration albums are fun. Those are cool.
They are. I love them.
Oh yeah, they're super cool. I definitely, Johnny's got a great voice. He definitely shines. Whenever you hear him, you're like, oh, that's Johnny. So.
Right.
I don't know. I'm really excited for people to hear this new stuff because it's being engineered by, Eric Ron, who's done a bunch of really cool stuff. And, all in all, I think it's just a very mature album. Can't wait to show you guys.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's awesome, man. What do you do for fun outside of this? I mean, we've talked about the label, the industry, all of that. Who are you? I read a little something that says you like to do movies. Is that true?
Well, what I do is there's only so much stuff you can do in an office. You tend to get, a little, not bored, but there's only so much Excel data.
Yeah.
Clear you can do without having to get creative,
Yeah.
So, my outlet is directing music videos pretty often or taking photos, but,
awesome.
Just for fun, I go out and shoot a bunch of music videos. I've done I directed a video for Exodus and Buck Cherry and stuff with Breaking Benjamin, Volbeats, all types of stuff. So.
Wow, look at you go. That's awesome.
I think, didn't you do the Crystal Lake video as well? I think I saw your name on that. Was it Oasis?
No, I didn't do Crystal Lakes just because they're in Japan, but that would have been freaking rad.
Right. So now you said that you like to take pictures as well. So what kind of photography are you into?
I usually do portraitures or stuff like that. I don't really shoot photos that often.
Yeah.
I did a lot more in the past. I kind of just turned more into the video world. I don't know why, but that just was kind of funner to me. And also you could just get budget to rent cool locations and such. Oh, and get a bunch of fire towers. I like to do that.
Right, right.
Are you only doing videos for the bands that are in your stable, or are you just kind of a gun for hire when you do that?
I'm a gun for hire in that regard. I just did the last Devil Driver videos as well.
Oh wow!
That creepy witch.
Wow.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, I did the one with all the pyro too.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love pyro.
That's awesome, man.
It's so funny. Whenever I do those kind of shoots, though, I always forget about the poor drummer, and I almost cook him.
Oh my gosh!
Suddenly, I feel like James Hetfield
or Michael Jackson.
Oh my god! It was just Thanksgiving. I was thinking about cooked turkeys, and we just got to this talk about pyro.
I always wonder why that Devil Driver drummer had a marshmallow on his drumstick. Now it makes sense.
Exactly. Making s'mores.
That's awesome.
If anyone wants to get in touch with you or do submissions or anything like that, can you tell them how to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do our live A&R session. It's the last Friday of every month. You know, we stream live on Facebook. You can also submit your demo through our website, which is arteryrecordings.com. And they have a submission form that gets stored, and we go through that and check it out. You know, people tend to try to send us Facebook message, but we don't really take demo submissions through that. It's just hard to get through those because we get so many messages.
Yeah.
But the best way would be A&R Friday or, you know, the demo submission form. Also, like, I mean, it's kind of interesting, but, you know, this is just a tip for, you know, musicians, stuff like that, is it's also important to network, you know, and actually meet people, kind of key players of, like, different labels and, like, develop a relationship. Because in the end, like, I tend to get an email where it's like, hey, listen to this, boom, and that's it. Whereas there's, like, people I've kind of known for years that are just like, hey, man, how you doing? Not even talking music, and they eventually, like, ask advice or something like that. And, you know, I think that's one thing that a lot of musicians could do better, would be the whole networking aspect as well. So, I don't know. I'm really easy to talk to. So anybody that approaches me, I tend to give them advice if I have the time, you know.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, on the backside of this conversation, we're going to play a couple of songs out of your stable, if that's okay with you.
Oh, absolutely.
You have anything specifically you'd like us to play?
Well, we got New Crystal Lake. By the time this comes out, I would say probably play Black and Blue. And then Dream Shade, Autumn Leaves, great song as well.
Oh, it was an amazing song.
All right, cool.
Absolutely. We also have For the Win, Crash and Burn, another good one. And add those three, and I hope people enjoy.
Awesome.
Cool.
Will do. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Honest Brutality, and we have been talking with Shan Dan Horan, president of Artery Records. And thank you so much again for your time today, sir.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad we were able to make this happen. It's always great talking to you guys.
Thank you.
And for you guys, for sure, need to go out and check out their label. Check out all the bands that are in there. The stable is amazing.
Yeah.
Go check out the YouTube page they have.
Yeah,
subscribe
it's crazy.
to it. A lot of
And
bands
Check out their Fridays.
The last Friday of
Yeah.
the month. And that's, you know what? Even if you're not a band, it's great fun to watch.
It is fun.
This has been Honest Brutality. Be good people. Be good humans. And most importantly,
Stay metal.
Stay metal.
existence unless we search beyond ourselves. Can you feel it? 'Cause I feel it too, just like you. Pain. Disease, depression, isolation, misery, lost, goodbyes, no pain, no pain. There's no gain without pain.